The biggest lie we tell ourselves is that if we just try a little harder, if we make ourselves a little smaller, they will finally love us the way we deserve. But my dear, you cannot polish a stone and expect it to turn into gold. I spent 40 years of my life begging for a seat at tables where I was barely tolerated, and today I am going to tell you the hard truth about what happens when you finally stop explaining yourself and start living. Hello, my beautiful friend. Sit down for a moment. Let an old woman look at you. I see that heaviness in your shoulders. I see how tired your eyes look from constantly twisting yourself into knots, just to make sure everyone else around you is comfortable. You have been trying so incredibly hard to be the perfect daughter, the perfect partner, the perfect friend. You smile politely when you actually want to cry, and you say yes when your exhausted soul is screaming no. I know this ache intimately, my dear, because I wore that exact same heavy mask for 4 decades. We are taught from a very young age that if we are just good enough, quiet enough, and accommodating enough, we will finally be given the respect and love we so deeply crave. We think approval is the currency of love. But today, I want to talk to you about the absolute danger of living for other people's applause and the beautiful, terrifying freedom of letting them misunderstand you. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was entirely consumed by what others thought of me. My self-worth was like a leaf blowing in the wind, completely dependent on the moods and opinions of the people around me. I remember one particular Sunday evening that changed everything. I had spent 3 whole days preparing my home for a family gathering. I cooked until my feet were swollen, ironed the linens until my back ached, and scrubbed floors that were already clean, all because certain family members were coming over. For years, I had chased their approval like a starving dog chasing a bone. No matter what I did, it was met with a sigh, a harsh critique, or a backhanded compliment that would keep me awake at night. That evening, one of my relatives looked at the beautiful table I had poured my heart and soul into and simply said, "It is nice, but it is a shame you didn't have the time to polish the antique silver." In that exact moment, my dear, something inside my chest broke. But it did not break in a tragic way. It shattered the thick illusion I had been carrying for 40 years. I realized, standing there in my kitchen with burning eyes, that I had spent my precious, unrecoverable youth performing in a grand play where the audience was determined never to clap. I had sacrificed my own peace, ignored my own desires, and silenced my own authentic voice just to keep the peace. But it was not peace at all. It was a silent, violent war against myself. I remember looking at them, putting down my napkin, and for the very first time in my life, I did not apologize. I did not scramble to explain myself or promise to do better next time. I just took a deep breath, smiled a genuine smile, and said, "The silver is fine just the way it is." That tiny sentence was the beginning of my true freedom. Here is the profound lesson it took me nearly half a century of heartbreak to learn, and I pray you learn it much sooner than I did. You absolutely cannot shrink yourself into someone else's definition of worthy. When you spend your life seeking approval, you are handing the precious pen of your life story over to someone else. You are telling them, "Here, you write my value." But people are deeply fickle, my dear. They will judge you based on their own unhealed wounds, their own deep insecurities, and their own limitations. If you base your self-worth on their validation, you will always be one single critique away from an emotional breakdown. True respect does not come from being a doormat. It does not come from doing everything perfectly so that nobody can find a flaw in you. It comes from having the quiet, unshakable strength to say, "This is who I am, and I do not need you to applaud for me to know my own worth." You have to stop begging for a seat at tables where you are treated like an afterthought. Build your own table. Serve yourself the love and grace you keep endlessly pouring into empty cups. They will call you selfish when you finally stop doing what they want. Let them. Let them be disappointed. Their disappointment is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to protect your spirit. Take a slow, deep breath with me right now. Think about the person or the group of people you are trying so desperately hard to please right now. What is it actually costing you? Is it costing you your daily joy? Your peaceful sleep? Your very sense of who you are? Listen to an old woman who has walked this exhausting road to its bitter end. The people who truly belong in your life will never, ever ask you to destroy yourself just to keep them warm. They will love the messy, unpolished, wonderfully authentic version of you. And those who do not, you must find the courage to let them walk away. It is not a loss, my dear. It is a vital clearance. The day you stop explaining your decisions, the day you stop twisting your beautiful soul to fit into their tiny, rigid boxes, is the exact day your real life begins. You are enough. Please hear me when I say that. Not because of what you endlessly do for others, not because of how agreeable or quiet you are, but simply because you exist. You were born worthy. Please do not spend the next 40 years of your beautiful life trying to buy back the worth you never actually lost. Put down the heavy, suffocating burden of pleasing everyone. Rest your tired soul. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have fierce boundaries, and you are allowed to say no without an explanation. I am so incredibly proud of the resilient person you are becoming, and it is high time you start being proud of yourself, too. If this message found its way to your heart today, please let me know by leaving a comment below. Share your story with me. I read every single one of your beautiful words. Do not forget to subscribe and like this video so we can keep having these quiet little talks together. Share this video with someone who might desperately need a reminder of their own beautiful work today. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and take good care, my dear.